I'm sure that people watching would like to hear from you how Mrs. Jackie Kennedy and the two small children are getting along.
Well, they have their good days and their difficult days. The John, the young boy, is extremely vigorous and interested in everything, and Caroline gets along quite well.
They have an understanding of what happened, do they?
Well, I imagine as much as children can have. The memorial which the members of the family think will be the most appropriate was the memorial which President Kennedy had actually selected himself. This was to be the site for his library, where he intended after his period of the presidency to reside and continue to concern himself with the matters of public affairs and public events, to do his writing and his speaking from this platform, the Harvard Business School, in which he had spent so many of his boyhood years. He had selected this site there, and it seemed only appropriate that after the events of November, that this would be accomplished, and that the members of the family felt that we should erect at this site the place where the president's papers would be preserved, which would be the national memorial to the president, and also a place where young people would come and study the ideals, principles, and concepts of the president. And we're extremely hopeful that there will be many students that will come there and be inspired and return to their countries to concern themselves with public events and public concerns.
The historians have already begun to assess how President Kennedy will be remembered. How do you think he would like to be remembered?
Really a question of what we feel was the most significant contribution. I think he brought to the American people, and I feel after the few days that I've had a chance to travel in Europe, a feeling which was so evident in the United States in the 19th century that people really could accomplish what they set their mind about to do. There was no obstacle that couldn't be accomplished by people of will and determination. I think his great interest in young people, their problems, a belief that middle age was not the minimum age to assume maximum responsibility. It's difficult to say what one thing, but I do feel that he did give a sense of a perspective, a sense of confidence to people, and the young people, particularly in the United States. And I think that this was a source of inspiration to people throughout the world.
I'm sure that people watching would like to hear from you how Mrs. Jackie Kennedy and the two small children are getting along.
Well, they have their good days and their difficult days. The John, the young boy, is extremely vigorous and interested in everything, and Caroline gets along quite well.
They have an understanding of what happened, do they?
Well, I imagine as much as children can have.
Mr. Kennedy, did the fact and the circumstances of your brother's death produce any sort of revulsion in you towards politics? Did you even momentarily feel like getting out?
No, I don't think that, no, I don't, it wouldn't. I don't think that it should or it would.
It has been written that your brother tried to dissuade you from running for the Senate when you did. Wasn't there any truth in that?
No, that wasn't true. Of course he was interested, but he was never tried to dissuade me in any way. He never would. He always felt, as existed within among my brothers, that they make up their own minds. And of course I certainly was mindful of what implications it could have as far as his own situation. But once those were resolved and I felt that there was an opportunity, I took advantage of it.
Did he give you any advice at that time? He presumably did.
Oh, well, he was naturally interested as a brother. He was always, on the weekends he'd talk, but he was, I think that I felt very strongly that he shouldn't participate in the campaign. He did not participate in the campaign, and I think that the people in my state of Massachusetts appreciated this fact.
A lot has also been written about your family. How much would you say your family has been a help as a unit to you and your brothers in your careers?
Well, we've been an extremely close family, as I think so many other families are. I think that we've been constantly reminded. I mean, I remember when we were here in England, as a matter of fact, that my brothers were studying, my oldest brother Joe and the president were studying. They were constantly aware of the historical events that were taking place, interested in the debates that were going on in Parliament at the time and talking about these affairs. And therefore it's to do his writing and his speaking from this platform. So it saw how rewarding and satisfying that a career in public service could be. I made my mind up that it was in this direction that I was going to develop my career.
When you arrived in the Senate as the youngest member and the President's brother, how were you received?
Very well. The members of the Senate were extremely kind and hospitable to me, extremely helpful, and I would hope that after a year in the Senate that I've been able to pull my share of the weight of the work there. I hope so.
Is there any cause that you've got particularly interested in while you've been in the Senate?
Well, I felt that there's, first of all, I've only made one speech, and that's been a major speech, and that was on the question of civil rights, which President Kennedy felt so strongly about, and which I feel strongly about.
Mr. Kennedy, thank you very much indeed. If we could just keep chatting, because we have to go on. What do you think the civil rights bill is going to get through?
I should think it will. It'll probably go. Imagine they get a cloture petition in the end of the second week or the third week in June. And
is it going to be badly amended? Or?
Oh no, I've seen the package amendments and look at.